Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a group of local leaders come together to give us an update on flood relief here in Perry County. And a couple of organizations shift their attention to providing books for one Eastern Kentucky school system that lost so much.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's almost 6 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning, the middle of the work week, and boy, I'm telling you what, I am ready for the weekend. Let's head over to Brandon Robinson for a look at our forecast this morning. Brandon, think we can hold on to the weekend? No?
Oh, I was like, hold on to the weekend. What are you talking
It's
about?
Wednesday. I said, do you think we can hold on until the weekend?
For some reason in my mind, it was like, can we hold on to it, like keep it forever? I'm like, I don't think so, Dakota. I don't think that's how it works. But I think we can hold on until we get to the
golly,
weekend. Yes.
My goodness.
Sorry, it's been a long morning.
I think you have some brain fog this morning.
I know I have some brain fog. You don't have to say I think I know, but it's not only in here, it's out there this morning too. So just be careful as you're traveling around the region. Let's go over to UVA-wise and see what's going on over there. Clear skies over there, 59, one of the cooler spots in our region this morning, along with Clintwood, Jonesville, over toward Hazard and Irvin. All those folks are in the 50s. Williamsburg, welcome to the 50-degree club there at 59 this morning. A lot of folks still dropping. So London, Harlan, you all could be next there, and Pikeville too. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Looks like Ashland has retaken the top spot as the warmest spot in the region at 65. A lot of upper 50s and low to mid 60s out there this morning. A normal day, but maybe a little extra depending on those temperatures, especially if you're in the 50s this morning on the coffee meter. And you know what goes good with coffee? Donuts. Donut forecast here for the next dozen hours. We start off pretty good here with some fog and some sunshine. Temperatures climb into the 80s this afternoon, and it's going to be a fairly nice day overall. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. It's been nearly 1 month since devastating floods swept through Eastern Kentucky, and yet in some counties, relief is still needed more than ever. Our Keaton Hall has an update from Knott County.
The Knott County Sportsplex remains a hub for recovery efforts in a community still in desperate need of aid.
Anybody that comes in here needs a meal, gets a meal.
Ronnie Spriggs is the pastor at Hager Hill Free Will Baptist Church and is helping feed hundreds of folks in need every day.
We fed today was a low day, and we fed nearly 400 meals today. And this is one of the lowest days we've had. But we're expecting a much bigger day tomorrow.
Feeding people at places like the Mine-Made Adventure Park. No, these aren't tourists. These are state-purchased RVs serving as temporary housing for dozens of families still without homes.
They were moving some of the last families in today of the campers that we have available, so all of these now have displaced families a place to live now.
And now, as the bidding process for many of the recovery projects in Knott County begins, Judge Executive Jeff Dobson is heading to Frankfort, hopeful they will hear his message.
They want to hear our concerns, and we're going to voice our concerns. We're going to be there for our people. We're going to let it be known of what's going on, the process that we're in, where we're at in the process, and let them know we've got a long road ahead, and you know, we need help.
A very long road to recovery.
You know, I don't want to lie to people. It's going to be months and probably years of getting everything back in order. But, you know, we want to assure you that we're doing everything that we can.
In Knott County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Pastor Ronnie Spriggs says Hager Hill helped serve more than 3,500 free hot meals just last week and continue to provide church services every night at 7 p.m. Well, some in the Millstone community of Letcher County say fixing flood damage is too much to bear. However, members of one family have called the two houses on their strip of land in Millstone home for decades and say they're not backing down from the fight. Dean and Melissa McBee have gutted their home and plan to repair it, while Dean's sister Gina is knocking her home down and building from scratch. The trio says this is their home and, well, they're staying.
It's slow, not fast.
Yes.
So that's the reason why we love Eastern Kentucky.
We have family here, but around us, we got neighbors that is like family.
Yeah.
To help each other.
Well, Dean was approved for FEMA funding, but fears it won't be enough. Nearly 60 people in the River Caney area of Lost Creek have come together to file a lawsuit against Blackhawk Mining and Pine Branch Mining. Many of the people in that area lost their homes because the flooding we saw in July, and some are now homeless. Well, they accuse the companies of failure to operate slip ponds properly, claiming the ponds were improperly maintained and improperly constructed, allowing debris and excessive water to flow onto properties in the River Caney area, making the recent flooding worse.
This was a man-made incident. I've seen it myself, of the pond that's broken, and we knew it that night because you could smell it.
Well, Blackhawk Mining responded and said it does not agree with the claims made by the lawyer representing the plaintiffs. Well, we have the statement over on WYMT.com. Several local leaders met at the Hazard Perry County Chamber of Commerce meeting Tuesday morning to provide a flooding update. Hazard Mayor Happy Mabellini thanked county and city workers for their countless hours of repairing water lines and roads. He also took a moment to thank volunteers who have helped all across the city and county. He says every area could use more people like that.
If you're one sitting home complaining because you don't have water, then think about these people who've lost everything, lost their family members, don't know where they're going to have where they're going to live. You know, I'd say they'll change places with you if all you don't have is water.
The mayor says if you would like to volunteer, the city could use volunteers at the old JCPenney building here in Hazard. Districts hit hard by flooding are worried about what the school year will look like. Well, this as lawmakers head to Frankfort focused on promises to help school systems starting late. Grayson Passmore has the details.
As families across eastern Kentucky continue to recover, the start of school may be bringing more questions than answers.
I mean, those that aren't in their homes yet, you know, they're struggling for heated meals. I like the idea of getting them back in.
While some suggested moving the start date to after Labor Day, the majority voted to continue at the August 29th start, just adding 12 minutes to each school day.
Between COVID and flooding, it's really, we've taken a beating.
As school districts work to get students back, Governor Andy Beshear signs off on a special session to work on a relief package for flood victims.
This will be to create a safe fund similar to the one in Western Kentucky that can help our Eastern Kentucky communities, and also some legislation to help our school systems, especially those that are going to have to start a little bit late.
Beshear says he's reached an agreement with legislative leaders, calling his, quote, productive conversations not bipartisan, but nonpartisan. Senate President Robert Stivers says, quote, we have cast politics aside and will address the immediate needs of those who have endured so much.
And ensure our counties and cities don't go bankrupt and that our utilities don't have to raise rates on families already hurting, just to repair and replace necessary infrastructure.
Grayson Passmore, WYMT Mountain News.
2 school districts in our region won't return until the middle of next month because of last month's flooding. Knott and Letcher County schools are being pushed back the furthest. Yesterday, one Knott County student talked with state education leaders about the impact the flood has had on him and his community.
You know, you lost a couple things, or some friends of mine lost everything. There's a lot of what ifs, and we're kind of just waiting to see how the future pans out with that.
Start back date for Knott County is September 19th. At last check, there's still not a definite date set for Letcher County schools. The Kentucky Educational Development Corporation and Charge leaders are accepting book donations to send to students over in Knott County. Some of the district's libraries were damaged in the flooding and books were destroyed. A veteran Knox County teacher is stepping in to help. She reached out to the KEDC in Charge to help collect book donations.
That's what I want. I want the kids to have books that can take their minds off of the sadness and the negativity and bring a little bit of happiness in their home and in their schools and in their classrooms.
You can drop off gently used or new books in Lexington, Ashland, or Barberville. You can also buy books from the KEDC's Amazon wish list. Books can be dropped off on weekdays between 9 and 4 from now until September 9th. As help from the Commonwealth continues to pour into eastern Kentucky, the federal government is still helping victims. FEMA is set to give out more than $45 million in aid to flood victims. So far, more than 5,700 applications have been approved. Governor Andy Beshear says FEMA has approved more than 2,000 applications that were initially denied. The Kentucky State Fair is also helping flood victims. FEMA is setting up a booth for the remaining days of the fair. Agents will be on hand to answer questions and help people apply for disaster relief. They'll be there now through the 28th. And FEMA may be able to provide critical need assistance to folks who are unable to stay at their homes. The assistance would be for individuals who have an immediate or critical need. Individuals may be eligible for critical need assistance if they can complete a FEMA registration, pass identity verification. At registration, let FEMA know you have critical needs and request financial assistance for those needs and expenses, and have pre-disaster primary residence located in an area designated for assistance.
6:09 here on this Wednesday morning. We continue to track some patchy, dense fog out there as we start the day, and we'll continue to look at that as we head into the Moorhead camera this morning. Still looking pretty rough out there this morning. It's basically zero visibility, at least at the airport down the road, but you can see it's getting worse there on the interstate as well. 63 up that way right now. Dew point 61, so not too bad. So again, kind of a cool morning across the region. 56 Clintwood, 59 Wise, Hazard, Irvin, and Williamsburg. 57 in Jonesville this morning, and 64, just double checking, scanning the screen there. Yep, 64, the warm spot in Ashland this morning. Dew points, look at Clintwood in the 40s right now. So very kind of coolish out there this morning across the region, and everybody below that that soupy feeling out there for sure today. Day planner, we're heading into the mid-80s this afternoon. Dew points stay low just because the air temperature goes up, though. It will feel a little warmer this afternoon. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Well, coming up next on Mountain News this morning, new details emerge from the investigation into documents taken from the Florida home of a former president of the United States. Stay with us.